Yo, I was making a video a while ago, and I ran out of, I only got 27 minutes on my camera, so I'll try and put together something, the end half of it. Anyway, yeah, I was saying about resets and all the bullshit that we've been putting up with over the last couple of years too, and you know, all the retarded, stupid people that we deal with, and it's really hard because, like 85% of the people that are out there are not even, they don't even want to hear about truth or anything, you know what I'm saying? And so, but like, we got a real challenge here because even the people that are claiming to be awake, they're almost like half awake, you know what I'm saying? And they don't like going to the deep end of the pool sort of thing. And me, I'll go whatever it takes. I'll go the distance because I'm trying to, you know, come to some sort of conclusion on what the hell our existence here is about, right? And the way that our education system and our society has led us is completely astray. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the animal kingdom is looking at us like a bunch of retarded fools. I mean, I don't think the animal kingdom would allow a mid full of fucking retards to run their lives, especially when they're kind of pedophiles and sneaky bastards right from the get-go. So, I mean, you gotta figure out what you're doing here because from my indications, I mean, I've had out-of-body experiences before, and I've had near-death experiences, and like I've said, I was in a coma for quite some time, and that was a trip and a half, I'll tell you that. And you know, it makes you wonder like what your existence is, because when I came out of the coma, it was like, oh fuck, man, like it was good to be back, but it was kind of like, when I was in a coma, I didn't feel no pain, I didn't have any anxiety, I didn't have any pressures, and I was like going all over the place, man. I'll get into that another time, but the thing is, what you are is a spiritual being in a human meat suit. Having a human experience per se is about the extent of it, and the part of the aspect is this like a reincarnation soul kind of a recycling gig, or is it not? I mean, because some of the indications that I'm picking up is, yeah, could it actually be involved with something to this effect? Because that's why these elite people seem to be pretty cool with what they're all about. I mean, because I think they're of this place, and we're not, right? See, we are. Like it says in the Bible, that Jesus knew us before we entered our mother's womb, not to get all messed up down here. This place is a shit show. And Satan took Jesus to the top of the mountain, apparently, here. And he showed him all his kingdoms, but he says, it all can be yours if you just bow down to me. And he said, nah, man, I'll pass. I'm not dealing with this shit, man. This place ain't my gig. You see what I'm saying? So he knew himself that this place, he's not of this world. And it's a good little I don't know what you call it, a good little storyline there. But it makes kind of sense to me that, you know, because from my experiences, this place is hell, right? And all these elite people and all these bastards, and they're all bowing down to Lucifer and all these satanic creeps, right? See what I'm saying? And anyway, if this is their god of their world per se, you know, I'm not into that kind of god, right? And I don't know, it's like my life doesn't revolve around those kind of people, right? And like, I don't deal with, pardon me, yeah, I don't really get into this kind of, I look at, I've been through a lot of bullshit in my life, man. Every day I walk around in pain, you know, since day one of my existence, this has been like a shit show, right? You know, um, when you're trying to figure out things and you're trying to wrap your head around things, you could try and explain things from what you've been through. I'll tell you right now, out of all the reading and stuff that I've done and research, and I do this. Um, uh, I'm involved in groups that have experience with near-death experiences and stuff like that, and out-of-body experiences, because I've had many of them, and that gets into this crazy. You can. They've done all kinds of programs and stuff with regards to remote viewing and stuff. I've got other books up there about astral projecting and stuff, and some of the drugs I've done in my day, and the stuff I've seen, like under. A lot of it was under influence as well, but I mean, a lot of the stuff I've experienced, I wasn't on any drugs at all. And so you got to look at what the hell's going on here and what are we doing here. And, there's I think it's either here in this book here, Human Body Electric by Becker. I think it says we're made up of billions of cells, and each cell is worth 1.4 volts. It's either this book or this one here. That's by Talbot. Tennant, sorry, my bad. And so then you got to start looking at some of the stuff that I've been researching, like with regards to the resets and mud events, and there's evidence of melted buildings. These characters that are in charge of this world right now have been screwing around with the game since day one. That's why I say it's hell. And these guys are probably stuck here as prisoners, and we're just some sort of a farm here, because they're not only just using us for our resources and taking us, because you can't own anything. It's Babylon, for crying out loud. Your car is registered, that's the crown, they give it back to you with stipulations, your driver's license, insurance, registration, all this paperwork bullshit in order to drive it. Make sure you can't go 55, what I'm saying, over 55. You got to keep the rules of the road, and then, so you don't own your car. They give it back to you with the rights to use it under their stipulations. And then when you buy a home, your home's paid off, but you still got to pay property taxes. If you don't pay your property taxes, they're going to take it away from you. You register your kids, you're giving it to the crown. I mean, your birth certificates, all this stuff, strong identity. You want to talk about you're not living in Babylon? Then you go to court trying to defend yourself in this bullshit, and they speak legalese, a completely different language than we handle, and then they're all black robing and bullshitting. Give me a break, man. Judges wear black robes, man. So do witches. Anyway, what I'm getting at is you ain't free, and this is where the only way you can be free is within you. And the human condition has been mangled since probably mid to late 1800s. They started screwing around with this big time, and it just sort of dragged us through these world wars and stuff like that. And they used us all as experiments to give everybody pokes and stuff like that. Everybody in the military is just like they get poked more than a junkie, for crying out loud, if you're in the armed forces. Anyway, I mean, so it gets into lab rat shit, right? You know what I mean? And people have become so stupid, it's beyond reasoning sometimes, man. I mean, whoever's in charge of the game right now, this Klaus Schwab and all these clowns in this World Economic Forum, with their 15-minute city ghettos and stuff they want to put us in and stuff. Come on, man. They got us dancing around in circles like morons already with these rallies and stuff. That's just a psyop, those damn things. I mean, I went to many of them. I got like about 2,500 protests videos over the last couple of years. But that's because I never even spoke at any of these rallies myself. I probably could have. Well, I could have, no problem. I mean, I've spoken several times to very large audiences, 800 kids at a time, at some high schools. I think I did 11 high schools, talking about my life and craziness and stuff, man. And then I also spoke at the University of Toronto. I spoke at George Brown. I had Seneca College do no, it was Humber College do a documentary on me, sort of thing, when they were doing a project on a flat Earth guy about 5 years ago. And anyway, there's so much bullshit going on out there. These rallies, this whole bullshit. This Jordan Peterson guy, he's another bullshit mofo, right? There's so many grifters out there. You got to be careful, man. You know, like I said, about 85% of the stuff you're getting off the YouTube and all the internet is garbage. 15% is only worth taking home. And then, are you going to do with anything? Because, I mean, a lot of the stuff is really got to be picked through. And this is where you got to figure out where the hell you are. And so, you can study yourself till the cows come home. Or you can just sort of, like, I don't know, man, just, you can't live in any fear. You know, and you can't really get too caught up with all this bullshit. I got these idiots on Facebook taking pokes at me and saying, oh, I'm not a Christian. Well, I'm not really trying to be your kind of Christian. The real Jesus didn't believe in Bibles. He didn't believe in churches. He said the nature was the kingdom. That's your church, not in these buildings where the buildings, the churches are run by Baal, the fucking... the satanic worshippers, man. The Roman Catholic Church and all that bullshit. Oh my God, right? I mean, I was raised by one of them, or by them, and I didn't last very well. Look, you know, I got into it till I was about 10 years old, and that was by force. And right after that, then I was set free. I didn't have to go to church no more, and I never did. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's that kind of dude I am. I'm a spiritual guy, but I don't do religion, and I don't do their fucking version of Christianity. You know, I remember Jesus Christ, when I looked at him when I went into that church, the poor bastard was fucking nailed to a goddamn cross with a crown of fucking thorns over his head, and it was all bleeding all over his face, his whole body was all stuck. What an image to give me of my God. And they tortured the poor bastard. This is the way I was looking at it when I was a kid, right? And I was kind of freaked out with it. Anyway, it's kind of like abuse in its own way, because I mean, I was looking up there and they're making me sit there on my knees and look up to pray to this poor thing, and it was, fuck me. Anyway, the real Jesus, he was a real guy. The Cathars knew that he was a real person. The Muslims knew he was. The Orthodox Jews knew he was. Even still, the Orthodox Christians today knew that the real Jesus was an actual guy here. He might have been here only about 1,000 years ago too, right? So I mean, they got everything all screwed up in that department, because you can thank the Roman Catholic Church for that, right? And this is what they've done. And every school book that you ever touched came out of the Roman Catholic approved fucking system. I'll tell you right fucking now. So pardon me for swearing, but hey, that's the way it's been going, right? Anyhow, I just try and talk about things that are real, and you know, there's so many people out there that are lying, and I don't want anybody to get all caught up, because you know, you just got to be careful about yourself, and the whole thing is, you're very powerful. You know, this is with 1.4 volts per cell in your body, right? And you're made up of billions of cells. I think each individual is worth about 60 billion volts, right? Then this gets into circuit board cities. Now they want everybody in these 15-minute cities. Stack them, pack them, high rises. You could power your existence just with all the juices coming off of us. And I get kind of freaky about that sun, because you know, as time has gone on since I was a child, when I was a child, that sun was orange. It wasn't that white, blazing hot thing they got in the sky today, which I think somehow, the more psychopathic our existence has become, the brighter that sun has kind of changed its color, on top of the gazillions and gazillions of chemtrails that have flown over the top of our heads, right? Our weather's been modified, probably since before I was even born, right? That's over 60 years ago, and and this is what I'm saying. This place has got to be hell at this point because now this guy, um, I think it was Yuval Noah Harari. He's Klaus Schwab's architect, right? Um, of the Great Reset, right? This guy, it says, how did he say? I got little thing came up here a while ago. Anyway, these guys have got this whole idea that they want to be gods. They say we've got the power now to control everything. Like this is like a real trip, man. And this guy's got a book called Homo Sapiens and stuff like that. And these are the people that have basically declared us human beings in 1999, when the year The Matrix came out, that they basically considered mankind as subhuman. And that gets into this book over here that I was showing you in my last little video here that I'm getting through right now, right, about the man and his human condition, right, by Jeremy Griffith, right, and I'm trying to get myself through this one because it's an 800-page book, so these books aren't easy to get through, especially when you're a busy fella, right. I got another one over here as well that I'm poking at. This is, Can You Stand the Truth? The Chronicle of Man's Imprisonment, right? This is another one, man. This has got all kinds of stuff about music and how this stuff influences you. And man, it's the stuff I read is crazy. Anyway, I'm talking about this guy Harari, and it says history began when humans invented gods, and will end when humans become gods. This is the way these guys are talking, man. This guy Harari is the World Economic Forum. He wrote Homo Sapiens, 21 Lessons for the 21st Century, Sapiens, Graphic History, Unstoppable Us, Homo Deus. I mean, these people are kind of twisted. Anyway, this whole stuff gets around to your transhuman aspect of things. And these guys are this guy's got apparently access to whatever money he wants, trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. That's why these guys are just going to pull a plug on the economy. And I think they did it before, because when Babylon fell last time, what ends up happening is this food chains break down and everything turns into chaos and confusion, and then you got people eating people. And it gets crazy because the Roman Catholic Church has got all kinds of really trippy catacombs and stuff. Like, you should see some of the stuff that the Roman Catholic Church has got all built up. These crazy churches that are all built out of skulls of people's heads, and they're freaky, man. I mean, the Roman Catholic Church, they got underground catacombs, and it's just like the skulls and the bones, and it's just everywhere, man. You wouldn't believe some of these churches and stuff. They're just right underneath Paris, right? Anyway, I can go on and on about this stuff, but Paris, they're in Malta, they're everywhere, and all through Europe, right? They've got these bones that are like the catacombs in Paris. I think they're like 30 or 40 miles long. And the first 5 miles or 5 kilometers or something, they found like the bones for like 20 million people underground, and they're all cleaned up and nicely clean, and there's no rotten bone, meat on the bone or nothing. Anyway, so when the society collapses, they end up eating each other, sort of thing. And I think it's a freaky kind of assumption, but I mean, you never know with this world. But I'll tell you right now, some of these dump trucks I see walking down my street, if they don't get their cheeseburger, they're going to be freaking out, right? And especially when they're plugged into one of these stupid iPhones or, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It says in the Bible, man, cut off your right hand to spite your face. Take a selfie. Anyway, guys, I'm not trying to be a retard. Probably got a lot more I could say. Like I said, there's a bunch of grifters out there. Just be careful. You know, I could go on about some other people that I could probably talk about, but you know, there's ones like with the Jordan Peterson followers and stuff like that, and I don't do the archaic stupidness, and anybody that's hooked up with that kind of bullshit, because there's been all kinds of different kinds of resets, and not in any particular timeline. your 2030 and your 2040 and your 2046 and all your bullshit. I'd be worried about these guys' suspects for 2045 because this Harari guy is no clown, right? And he's got trillions of dollars at his expense. Obama called him a prophet, right? So, I mean, anyway, God bless you and I hope you're having a great day. Take her easy, man.